Hello, and welcome to the television earthquake we've all been waiting for. Tonight we are pulling back the velvet rope and crashing the most exclusive party in town to bring you the scalding hot details, the jaw-dropping revelations, and the uncensored truths behind the rebirth, the reinvention, the absolute resurrection of a show that defined a generation and is now, against all odds, roaring back to life with a vengeance. Forget everything you thought you knew because just like that, out of the Sex and the City revival that had fans and critics locked in a love-hate death spiral has just dropped its third season. And folks, the gloves are off. We were there on the inside at the glittering star-drenched European premiere on Wednesday, May 21st, 2025 at the Ultra Chic Crane Club in New York. A date now seared into television history. The flashbulbs were blinding, the couture was cutting edge, and the confessions? Oh, the confessions were pure gold. Sarah Jessica Parker, Cynthia Nixon, Kristin Davis, Sarita Choudhury, the queens themselves, holding court, and they weren't just posing, they were spilling. They spoke with a candor that was nothing short of breathtaking, revealing how this once teetering titan of television has clawed its way back, found its voice, and is now finally embracing the beautiful, glorious, and utterly unapologetic mess of real life. Cynthia Nixon herself, the woman who has lived and breathed Miranda Hobbs for nearly 3 incredible decades, dropped the bombshell quote that's sending shockwaves through the entertainment world. She's messy. It can be messy, but it's real. And she wasn't just talking about Miranda. Oh no, she was talking about the entire show. Season 3, we're hearing, is no longer desperately trying to please everyone, no longer walking on eggshells. It's kicking down the door, grabbing the microphone and screaming its truth from the rooftops. And that truth? It's complex, it's challenging, it's women in their glorious 50s with identities not just evolving, but exploding in a kaleidoscope of change, reckoning, and reliving. This isn't your mother's Sex and the City. Hell, it's not even the Unjust Like That you thought you knew from seasons 1 and 2. We're talking about a queerness that's not just present, but vibrant, joyful, and absolutely unpolished. Forget those sanitized perfect portrayals. This is the real deal, the messy middle, the glorious chaos of discovery. We're talking about grief handled with a raw honesty that sidesteps melodrama and hits you right in the heart. And yes, we are even talking about a battered bleach-stained pirate shirt, a vintage Vivienne Westwood no less, that somehow in a stroke of fashion genius or madness becomes a talisman of untamed power. You heard that right! The air at the Crane Club was thick with anticipation, a sense of monumental change. Nicole Ari Parker, Kristin Davis, the eternal Sarah Jessica Parker, Sarita Choudhury, and Cynthia Nixon posing together, a united front, radiating a newfound confidence that was palpable. Even Matthew Broderick was there supporting his iconic wife. They weren't just celebrating a new season, they were heralding a new ERA. They sat down with the Associated Press and the floodgates opened, revealing a show that's become deeper, rawer, or more astonishingly reflective of who these incredible women are right here, right now. And the first seismic shift, the one that will have die-hard fans screaming with delight. A voice, a beloved, iconic voice, returns from the television graveyard. Yes, we are talking about Carrie Bradshaw's legendary internal monologue, that rhythmic, intimate voiceover that was the very soul, the DNA of Sex and the City. It's back, people! And not by some nostalgic whim, oh no. Sarah Jessica Parker herself confirmed it. "We've always loved the voiceover," she declared, her eyes alight with passion. "It's a rhythm. It's part of the DNA. This isn't just a gimmick. It's a reclaiming of identity." For Parker, this return mirrors a profound shift in Carrie herself. The Carrie who once floated through Manhattan in a cloud of tulle, chasing Manolos and column deadlines. The Carrie who often seemed lost in her own romantic whimsy. She's gone. In her place stands a woman grounded by reinvention, sculpted by loss, and animated by a cautious, hard-won hope. She's finally unequivocally grown up, and she's making no apologies for it. The voiceover isn't just narration. It's Carrie's newfound emotional clarity laid bare for us all to witness. It's her soul speaking directly to ours once more. She doesn't burst into tears or stomp out of the room anymore, Parker revealed, and you could almost hear the collective gasp from fans who remember Carrie's more volatile moments. Instead, this new Carrie asks smart, patient questions. That's not effort, that's just her nature now. Imagine that. A Carrie Bradshaw who is patient, whose emotional intelligence has blossomed. People seem surprised that she is mature. Parker mused, almost challenging the notion that characters, or indeed women, should remain frozen in time. But that's just basic developmental stuff. Hopefully, simply by living, we get better at things. It's not surprising, it's just real. This is the mantra of season 3, it's just real. And it's a reality that promises to be far more compelling, far more addictive than any air-sea-brushed fantasy. This is Carrie Bradshaw, version 5.0, and she's not here to play. She's here to live, fully and fearlessly. But if Carrie is the show's newly calibrated compass, then Miranda Hobbs, Miranda Hobbs, is the earth-shattering Richter scale-defying seismic shift. Her arc, which controversially but boldly charted a late-in-life queer awakening, is being hailed even by its creators as possibly the show's most radical and important contribution to the television landscape. And for Cynthia Nixon, the brilliant actress who has so fiercely embodied Miranda, an actress who herself publicly came out as queer while still navigating Miranda's heterosexual storylines in the original Sex and the City. This evolution isn't just a plot point, it is deeply, profoundly personal. You could feel the emotion radiating from Nixon as she spoke, the weight of years, of personal truth intertwining with her character's journey. There's never a too late moment, Nixon declared, her voice resonating with a conviction. That could move mountains. And this right here is a message that will empower millions. Miranda comes to queerness at 55. That doesn't mean everything that came before was wrong. Pause and absorb that wisdom. It just means this is her now, and then delivering the line that will define this season. And it's messy. It can be messy, but it's real. That embrace of imperfection, of the glorious, sometimes painful untidiness of self-discovery is where the true power of this new and just like that lies. It's a defiant roar against the pressure for curated perfection, a celebration of the beautifully flawed human experience. Nixon delved deeper into this philosophy, explaining how television, with its unique ability to bring characters into our homes week after week, year after year, fosters an unparalleled intimacy and empathy. Television puts someone in your living room, week after week, she explained. Her words painting a vivid picture of that shared experience. They're imperfect, they make you laugh, and eventually you say, I know that person. They're my friend. That's more powerful than one mythic perfect film. That's where the change happens. And change is precisely what this season is delivering in spades. This includes a revolutionary shift in how queerness itself is portrayed on screen. Nixon, with her decades of experience in the industry and as a queer woman herself, recalled the bad old days, the times when LGBTQ+ characters were forced into restrictive, often tragic modes to simply justify their existence on screen. There was a time when gay people on screen had to be saints or martyrs, she stated. A stark reminder of how far we've come and how far this show is now pushing the boundaries. Now we can be characters like Miranda, who've had rich, fulfilling heterosexual lives and now stumble upon queerness, and not in a tidy way. And here's the crucial, often ignored part. There's collateral damage. That's important. This isn't some fairy tale awakening where everyone lives happily ever after without consequence. This is real life, with all its attendant complexities, heartaches, and yes, collateral damage. The show isn't shying away from the difficult conversations, the uncomfortable truths that come with such profound personal transformations. This incredible depth, this willingness to explore the shadows as well as the light, Nixon passionately argued, is a luxury afforded by the television format. Unlike a 2-hour film that demands neat resolutions, television allows characters, and by extension, us, the audience, to grow, to falter, to learn, and to evolve in something approaching real time. We are witnessing Miranda's becoming, no, as a finished product, but as a work in progress, messy, vibrant, and utterly captivating. And Miranda's transformation isn't just a personal odyssey, it's inherently, powerfully political. In season 3, we're aiming to see Miranda retraining in human rights law, a nod to her original legal career, but with a renewed fiery purpose. She's joining protest movements, she's wrestling with systemic questions, she's taking her fight from the courtroom to the streets. And this, an absolutely fascinating reveal, mirrors Cynthia Nixon's own passionate off-screen life. Remember 2018 Nixon, the actress, threw her hat into the political ring, running for governor of New York on a bold, progressive platform, bringing her activism roaring into the public arena. That convergence, that blurring of lines between Miranda the character and Nixon the activist is no accident. On long-running shows, if the writers are smart, they start to weave in the actor. Nixon confessed, giving us a tantalizing peek behind the creative curtain. When I started, Miranda and I were very different, but now we've grown closer. We're almost the same person, in temperament, in values. This is an extraordinary admission. The synergy between actor and character has reached a point of near total fusion, promising a Miranda who is not only more authentic, but also more fiercely engaged with the world around her than ever before. Get ready for Miranda Hobbs, a woman on a mission, both on screen and off. Now hold on to your cosmos, because season 3 is also making some bold structural changes, a daring paring down that signals a laser-like focus on what truly matters. We're hearing the scope is narrowing, pulling the emotional core of Carrie, Miranda, and Charlotte right back into the tightest of spotlights. And what does this mean? Several side characters, some beloved, some, well, let's just say controversial, are gone. Yes, you heard it here first. There's been a significant cast shakeup, and the name on everyone's lips, the character that ignited 1,000 debates, Diaz, is reportedly among those who will not be returning, or at least not in the same capacity. This is huge. What remains, we're promised, is a cleaner, more intensely character-driven story, a potent distillation of the relationships that started it all. Is this the show finally listening to the fans? Or is it a bold artistic choice to strip away the excess and get back to basics? Perhaps it's both. I think one of the great things about our show is we show women in their 50s whose lives are very dramatic and dynamic. Nixon proudly stated, challenging the ageist narratives that often relegate women of a certain age to the sidelines. You get to this age, and there's a lot going on if you choose to keep moving forward. And moving forward they are at lightning speed. Kristin Davis, our beloved Charlotte, your golden black, chimed in, hinting at some serious turmoil for her. Often prim and proper character. She noted that these life shifts, these seismic changes, come fast and furiously, often overlapping and creating a perfect storm of emotional chaos. She really starts to unravel, Davis confessed, sending a shiver of anticipation and concern down the spines of Charlotte fans everywhere. Charlotte unraveling the mind rails. But, and this is the beautiful, enduring heart of the show, the joy is her friends are there. That unbreakable bond, that sisterhood forged in the fires of New York City life, remains the anchor, the lifeline, even as the characters themselves are tossed on the stormy seas of midlife. And then there's Sarita Choudhury, the actress who brought the formidable real estate powerhouse Seema Patel roaring onto our screens. Seema, with her unapologetic ambition and her take-no-prisoners attitude, is also experiencing a profound shift. Choudhury spoke of Seema embracing a late-blooming autonomy, a fierce independence that is exhilarating to witness. She's feeling that if you have your own business, your own apartment, your own way, you get to say what you want, Choudhury declared. Her words a rallying cry for anyone who has ever felt constrained or silenced. There's power in that. And what a power it is. Seema is not just a sidekick, she's a force of nature, embodying the intoxicating freedom that can come with self-reliance and self-acceptance, particularly in midlife. This isn't just a storyline. It's a subtle, powerful rebuke to the long-held, deeply damaging media narrative that midlife for women is a period of decline, of fading into the background. Oh no! These women are stepping into their power, into their light, and they are burning brighter than ever. And what would a discussion of this iconic franchise be without fashion? Fear not, fashionistas, the clothes are still present, still fabulous, still making statements. But this season, we're told, the fashion feels more deeply personal, less about aspirational fantasy and more about authentic self-expression, a declaration of identity. Sarah Jessica Parker herself shared a stunning anecdote that perfectly encapsulates this shift. She described insisting on wearing a ripped vintage Vivienne Westwood pirate shirt, complete with a visible bleach hole in a key emotionally charged scene. It had to be in an important scene. It meant something, Parker emphasized. This wasn't just a quirky style choice. It was a deliberate act of character building, a testament to the idea that true style, true power comes from embracing imperfection, from wearing your history, your scars, your bleach holes with pride. This is fashion as storytelling, fashion as rebellion, fashion as a talisman of resilience. Even the show's iconic heels, those skyscraper stilettos that have clacked their way through countless New York City adventures, feel somehow louder this season, more defiant. They're not just pretty accessories anymore. They are, as the article so brilliantly puts it, declarations. Declarations of presence, of power, of women still standing tall, still making their mark, still walking their own damn paths, no matter how challenging the cobblestones of life may be. Each click of the heel is a beat in their anthem of survival and triumph. And yes, for those wondering, Carrie Bradshaw, the writer who gave voice to a generation's hopes, fears, and romantic entanglements, is writing again. But it's not her usual witty newspaper musings on sex and relationships. Oh no! We're getting tantalizing hints of a historical romance project, something mentioned only briefly on screen so far, but which whispers of the show's newfound comfort with poking a little fun at itself, at its sometimes grandiose heroine, and her occasionally pretentious literary flair. How could this be one of the season's most enjoyably ludicrous, most delightfully camp storylines? If the early buzz is to be believed, we are in for a wild, hilarious, and utterly Carrie ride. This new And Just Like That is a show that has clearly weathered the storms of criticism, listened to its heart, and learned to walk, no, to strut loudly, proudly, and unapologetically into its next most exciting chapter. It's a testament to growth, to resilience, to the enduring power of characters who feel like old friends, even as they surprise us, challenge us, and inspire us with their ongoing evolution. Sarah Jessica Parker summed up this incredible journey of growth with a sentiment that extends far beyond the screen, a universal truth that should give us all a little hope. You're better today than you were 10 years ago, she stated simply and profoundly. Wow, that's not just Carrie, that's everyone. And in that one sentence lies the magic, the relevance, and the irresistible allure of And Just Like That. Season 3. It's a mirror reflecting our own messy, beautiful, ever-evolving lives, reminding us that change is not just inevitable, but essential, and that every new chapter, no matter how unexpected, holds the promise of becoming something more. The premiere at the Crane Club was more than just a party. It was a coronation, a celebration of a show that dared to stumble, dared to listen, and dared to reinvent itself from the inside out. The energy was electric, a potent cocktail of nostalgia and thrilling anticipation. Seeing Sarah Jessica Parker, Cynthia Nixon, and Kristin Davis, the original Trinity, standing shoulder to shoulder with the dynamic Sarita Choudhury and the elegant Nicole Ari Parker, felt like witnessing a new constellation being born, brighter and bolder than before. Their camaraderie was infectious. Their pride in this new season undeniable. They weren't just promoting a product, they were sharing a piece of their souls, a testament to their enduring commitment to these characters and to the stories of women navigating life in all its glorious, complicated splendor. The implications of Miranda's storyline alone are enough to make this season landmark television. For so long, queer narratives were relegated to the margins or forced to conform to heteronormative expectations of neatness and palatability. Nixon's insistence on portraying the messiness, the collateral, damage is a revolutionary act. It acknowledges that coming into one's queerness, especially later in life, after decades of a different lived experience, is not always a seamless transition. It can be disruptive, confusing, painful even for all involved. And yet it is also valid, vital, and deserving of being told with nuance and honesty. This isn't just representation. This is deep, resonant human storytelling that will undoubtedly open hearts and minds. And Carrie's return to voiceover is like welcoming back a long-lost friend. That intimate, insightful, often humorous perspective was what made so many fall in love with Sex and the City in the first place. It's a direct line into her thoughts, her vulnerabilities, her witty observations about the world around her. Its absence was keenly felt by many in the earlier seasons of the revival. Its return signals a show that is confident enough to reclaim its most beloved elements while still forging a new path forward. It's a nod to the past, but with eyes firmly fixed on the future. The decision to narrow the focus to perhaps bid farewell to characters like Diaz will undoubtedly be met with mixed reactions. Was a lightning rod, a character who sparked intense debate and divided audiences. Their departure, if confirmed to be significant, signifies a deliberate recalibration, a desire to hone in on the core emotional journeys of Carrie, Miranda, and Charlotte, and their immediate circle. This could lead to richer, more focused storytelling, allowing for deeper dives into the psyches of the women we've known and loved for so long. It's a bold move, and one that suggests the creators are making choices based on artistic vision, rather than fear of backlash. This season, it seems, is all about authenticity. From Carrie's newfound maturity to Miranda's messy queer journey, from Charlotte's potential unraveling to Seema's empowered autonomy, from a bleach-stained pirate shirt to the raw honesty of the dialogue. And just like that, it's shedding its skin and emerging as something more vital, more relevant, and more fearless than ever before. It's a celebration of women in their 50s, not as relics of a bygone era, but as dynamic, evolving individuals living lives filled with passion, purpose, and yes, plenty of drama, so there you have it. The inside story, the emotional revelations, the fashion declarations. And just like that, they're in. Season 3 isn't just a new season, it's a cultural reset, a bold statement, a vibrant, messy, and utterly irresistible invitation to fall in love. All over again, not just with Carrie, Miranda, Charlotte, and Seema, but with a thrilling, unpredictable journey of life itself. Premiering Thursday on HBO Max, this is the television event you absolutely cannot afford to miss. Get ready to talk, to laugh, to cry, and to be utterly captivated. The girls are back, and they're more real, more raw, and more ready than ever before. What are you most excited to see? Let the debate, the discussion, and the delirium begin.